My delusional husband gave me peanuts despite the fact I am allergic to them and refuses to apologize, so I cooked him an amazing meal with a special surprise. So my husband is one of those people who believes that the power of the mind is enough to combat anything. He has genuinely tried to tell me that instead of going to chemo, I should advise my grandma to read meditation books and really believe that she is not sick. That's the kind of person he is. He believes in exposure therapy even with things like allergies and truly thinks he can heal himself simply using the power of the mind whenever he is. He gets mad at me for going to the doctors when I'm sick, instead of meditating with him in order to get better. One thing that has been the main struggle with him is to get him to understand that exposure therapy will not heal my allergies. Specifically, my peanut allergy. I have been deathly allergic to peanuts all my life, and cannot eat them. Yet he claims I can, as apparently he has watched many videos and read many stories of people overcoming deathly peanut allergies with exposure therapy. I have always told him no. Well, yesterday he took it upon himself to prove me wrong. I came home from work and he surprised me with a batch of homemade cookies. I was excited, but asked why he made them since he is lactose intolerant. He said it was a surprise for me. I was excited and kissed him, but before I ate one I asked for the ingredients, and he stated they were just normal cookies. He then got me to smell one. I did, and I thought they smelled off, but didn't say anything. My husband proceeded to break off a tiny amount of a cookie. A minuscule amount, which I thought again was odd. He then almost seemed to inspect it, then gave it to me. I ate the tiny piece, and almost immediately I started to feel hot. I could feel myself break into a sweat and my throat starting to slowly swell. I told my husband something was wrong, and when he saw me start to double over onto a chair and grab my neck and chest, he called the ambulance. He then used the EpiPen. There is a hospital near us, so thankfully they came quickly. I was discharged after a few hours and I was more or less okay. I asked my husband to explain himself and he started off by saying that I shouldn't get mad. He put peanuts into the cookie, trace amounts of them, to start my exposure therapy. He figured I would never agree to it myself, so he did it without my knowledge. I couldn't believe it. I yelled at him that I could have died, he could have unalived me, had my EpiPen not been on me, who knows what would have happened. I called him irresponsible, stupid and childish. I told him he's lucky I'm not going to press charges. He begged me to forgive him but still said that he was sorry for what happened but not for what he did. I said I needed space and went upstairs. I locked the bedroom behind me and sat in silence crying for what felt like hours. I knew I was going to divorce him, but I wanted to get back at him too. I decided that for the next 24 hours, I'm going to act like everything was fine, and serve him an amazing meal. That was my revenge. I came out of the bedroom and said that I forgave him. That I had thought about and that I had been letting my peanut allergy control my life. That I ate trace amounts of peanuts and ended up surviving. I sweet-talked him into thinking it was all okay. The next night I made him dinner. I served some fantastic chicken and homemade wholemeal bread as well as pasta. I told him I wanted this dinner to celebrate our new start and my start of exposure therapy and opening myself up to the power of the mind. He started eating the pasta and the chicken immediately and we finished the meal roughly 30 minutes later. 15 minutes later he started complaining about his stomach being sore. That's when I told him, oh yeah, I lathered the chicken in buttermilk beforehand and the pasta was drenched in butter before I cooked it. I also put some cheese sauce into the preparations of the dish. I know you're lactose intolerant, but this is just exposure therapy. I did say I was willing to start doing it. He looked at me with a look of shock and horror. He called me a liar, and not even a minute later he ran upstairs. He stayed in the toilet creating a nuclear warhead, and as he was in there I packed clothes for a few nights. I then drove to my sister where I am currently staying. I have been here a few hours and my soon-to-be ex-husband is bombarding me with calls ever since I sent a text to him stating I wanted a divorce. My delusional husband gave me peanuts despite the fact I am allergic to them and refuses to apologize, so I cooked him an amazing meal with a special surprise. It has been a few months and my husband and I are currently going through divorce proceedings. I know I'm never going to take him back no matter how hard he tries to convince me. And convince me he has tried. He has texted me a lot, begged a lot, apologized a lot, and showed up at my sister's doorstep a lot. Hell, he sometimes even sends me money or gifts into my workplace randomly as a sign for me to forgive him. I have talked to my sister and she states that this is love bombing, a tactic gaslighters use in order to get you to forgive their actions. My sister is a very smart woman and has an eye for these things. Gaining her perspective really helped. There was a point that I was actually considering forgiving him, but she was the one who convinced me that this type of behavior isn't normal. When I asked for space, he completely disregarded my wants and showed up to my sister's house the next day. I have also spoken to my sister's husband and he says the same thing. One very, very crazy thing that has happened, however, is that my husband has come up with a unique method of winning me back. You see, I still don't have his social media blocked as I don't see the need to. On said social media, he has started documenting a journey of him overcoming being lactose intolerant. He records himself, every single day without fail, consuming small amounts of dairy while preaching to whoever watches that the power of the mind is special and using it he will overcome being lactose intolerant. This is usually then followed by a pic of him in the bathroom talking about how hard the dairy hit him. He does this every day and brags about the results each day, claiming he is getting better and better at tolerating dairy. Honestly, I keep up with it for 3 reasons. For pure entertainment. To see how far he will go to win me back. And to remind myself that he is insane and to never ever go back to him no matter what he does.